Hi everybody, welcome back. I hope you're all doing well. So in today's video,
I do enjoy women. I enjoy the way they feel, the way they smell, the way they make love, and how and all of that. But sometimes I get just a really intense craving to be around a guy, and not just be around a guy, but to feel him, to hold him, to have him on top of me, to have me on top of him, and it's not just, and it is pretty much is just sexual. It's not like I'm seeking a romantic romance with this person, and so that's what makes finding married men so much easier because they're not looking for a relationship at all. They have a relationship with their wives, just like I have a relationship with my wife. And so I do have two or three guys that I do see on a regular basis, and we have a strict, no identification policy. If I see him at the mall or if I'm out with my wife in a restaurant and I happen to see him, it's as if I don't even see him. It's
How
as if we don't even know each other. And we've
how
gotten,
I was
go
gonna say
ahead.
how often is regularly? Like how often do you see them?
Um, Before the pandemic, maybe two or three times a week, and maybe multiple guys. And most of the time, we played safe. But once I started having like a regular pool of guys, I didn't really worry about playing safe so much, and neither did they. We were tested regularly, and that always played out just fine. So I really admit I've been really lucky to have that many years and not have any kinds of issues like that. Of course, if I did, that would be a dead giveaway.
Wow. Right. So you identify as straight. You, I guess,
Yeah.
always knew that you wanted to marry a woman, but when you married your wife, were you still sleeping with men, or was there a period when you first got married that you hadn't been with any men?
There was a period that when we first got married from, I say, for about 5 or 6 years, maybe 7 years, when we were starting a family, that I didn't sleep with men.
Was
I
your
just,
was your intention to just stay married, stay faithful, and never see other men, or did you always
right.
think that it might pop up again in your life?
Uh, well, I didn't really think of it that way. I just thought, I enjoy my wife. We're building a family. We're having kids. The feelings, the emotions, the attractions that I'm having, I will just deal with them and lay them aside. And so for 7 years, I did. But then we moved out of the area where we were to a whole nother town, and that's when I discovered the Craigslist ads. And from that day on, I I would have I've always had jobs that gave me the freedom to work at home or to work remotely or to work out of town. And so it was very easy to have the house to myself, maybe 3 or 4 days a week, maybe 5 days a week. And if I knew I was going to have it 5 days a week, and if I was really feeling needy, I mean, I could see 4 or 5 guys.
a craving 5 days in a week, multiple married men. At this point in time, man, to be honest, I'm starting to feel it in my system. I'm starting to feel like I need to stop. I don't want to know anymore. I'm tired. Okay, I feel like I'm drained. I'm like emotionally drained. I'm exhausted mentally from all these things that I keep hearing, seeing. It's a bit too much for me. And I'm actually considering like changing my content and everything altogether because at this point, I am tired. Okay. So there's so many questions I have with regards to this. And my first question is, because the last time I posted a video about the lady who called off her wedding when she found out that the guy that she was about to get married to used to sleep with men in college, right? And a lot of people were saying it was phobic, probably bisexual, and he should have told it. So my first question is this guy bisexual? Do you believe he is bisexual? Please let me know. Because I feel like everything was planned, everything was calculated. He knew from what time to what time this woman was going to have children. They had their children, and then from there, he planned everything, moved to a place where he could have access to multiple married men. He's talking about what? Is it can't even say Craigslist, right? And the town they moved into. So I feel like everything is calculated, well planned, well organized, and well executed. All right. So it's not like someone who fell into it. It's someone who is aware of what he's doing. And that's my humble take on all of this. But let me know your thoughts about all of this, and I'm going to come back and talk a little bit more, all right? So leave your thoughts, your opinions about all of this. Is this guy bi, gay, down low? Let me know.
All right, y'all. So I came across this podcast, and as you can see, it says, I'm not gay, but I cheat on my wife with men. It's a podcast called Other People's Lives, where people call into the show and talk about their lives, like people who either have secrets or something they want to get off their chest or yada, yada, yada. So this man called into this show, and he's basically saying, like, I don't consider myself to be gay, but I've been cheating on my wife with men for years, like their entire marriage, with the exception of the first 5 years when they first got married and they were having children. Luckily for her, because, you know, you can pass on a lot of things to a woman while she's pregnant, and that those things can be transmitted to a baby. So at a very minimum, he does that. And he only, as a married man, he only does this with other married men. He only does this with other married men. I want to make that very clear. And at one point he says that there was a time where, there are times when, since he works from home, he would have 5 encounters a day. That is sexual encounters with 5 other married men a day. 5 other men who are married to women who would pop up at this man's house so that they could have sexual intercourse every single day. So I know a lot of times, like, men will do certain things and women will come in the comments and be like, oh, it's because he's gay. And it's starting to make sense. The math is starting to math, because this man has been doing this for decades at this point. He's a grandfather. So he's been doing this since before he was married to her. They had children, and now his children has had children. So he's been doing this the entire time during the course of their marriage, and he only does it with men who are married to other women, so men who have things to lose, over the course of decades. I just really wanted to give y'all a second to allow that to sink in. Shit's getting weird.
That's just horrible. That's just horrible. How the F you gonna say you're not gay, but you messing with men? You are gay. Anytime you mess with the same sex, you consider gay. And see, this is the thing. A lot of DL men, they don't want to live their truth. They don't want to live their truth. This is why men in general get a bad rap because of people because of DL men. Just live your truth. Just live your truth. If you don't want to be with a woman, you don't have to. Be with a man. Live your truth. And I don't even want to repeat what she was saying, how he had so many men coming to the house. Oh, this is why a lot of women get diseases, because of DL men. It's sad and it's sickening. And I said this before. Homophobic fathers produce DL men. DL men are dangerous and they are toxic. That's why I stopped dealing with them. They used to send me a profile. They'll send their profile pic through a private message. They're not going to have it posted online. They'll send it through a private message. And I used to think, well, at least I can see what they look like. That's still a red flag. Because if you're not showing your picture online, on the dating apps, that's a red flag right there. You're definitely a DL man. How dare you sit there and say, oh, I'm not gay, but I've been with men. What the hell? You are. You are. And you make men in general look so bad. Period. Ladies, you know what? Y'all need to be careful when y'all meet men, because you just don't know if they're on the DL or not. And you know what? I need to talk about this also as well too. There was a live that I was on, and they were talking about why do females have gay best friends. That's because a lot of them won't push up on a woman, of course. They're not going to do that. They'll be honest with their female friends, and they will let them know what time it is, the type of man that they have, which that could be dangerous in a way, because once that gay best friend tells the woman that man is on the DL or whatever, sometimes the woman get upset. They'll get upset with their best friend about that, or with their friend. They'll get upset about it. But the friend is just being honest. He's just being honest to the woman, you know. But the thing I don't like about that is a lot of women will use gay men as a tool. And then once they really find out the hard truth, they want to diss them and call them all types of homophobic slurs. But ladies, please be careful when you meet men, because you don't know if they're on the DL or not. It's really hard these days. It's really hard these days. I mean, for this man to claim that he's not gay, but you sleeping with other men, you just don't want to live your truth. You don't want to be considered as a gay man.
Yeah. I mean, I could say, oh, come out and live your truth. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. He's doing it, right? And now, like I'm saying, I have so much information and so much knowledge about so many things that are happening in different types of relationship, to the point that I'm looking at everything like this. Even past situations, past experiences, is like, regular people move into a new neighborhood, all right, a new town. They have kids, regular, normal family, right? He has a wife. The wife has made friends with other wives in the neighborhood, in the town. And the husband has also made friends with other husbands. Nothing to look at here. It's normal, right? Only for you to find out years down the line that all these friends of your husband's were actually his sexual partners. And it was just sex. It was just sex. And so it should be okay, right? Oh, they got tested all the time. Nobody had anything. They made sure it was just 5 or 6 of them, and it was a rotation. Sometimes they'll have it 5 times a day, because, he's just craving a man. And yeah, it's supposed to be okay. It's nothing to see here. It's normal. That's what husbands who have friends who are husbands do sometimes. Not all the time. They do those things sometimes. And so it's also nothing to see. See, when you hear stories like this, and you're standing in your window looking at other people's lives, and So many things do cross my mind. Okay. So many things do cross my mind. Like I said, I'm becoming very suspicious. I don't know. I feel like I should go and live on an island somewhere. Just isolate myself from all of this, because this is a lot to take in, to digest. To be honest, I'll probably start reacting to funny stuff I see on TikTok, or funny things, or something light, like more lighter situations, because it's too much for me. I'm going to delete a lot of the videos on my phone. I'm going to start all over again. I'm tired. Notice I never mentioned the wife and the kids. Yeah, trauma. She doesn't know. I'm sure she still doesn't know. And I'm sure he still carried on living his best life. He's still living his best life. They said he's a grandpa. He has grandkids. The kids are grown, The wife is there just thinking, oh, we're just in our old age, gardening here, taking care of grandkids, probably traveling a few times. Some of the husbands did travel with them a few times. He didn't say that. I'm assuming. That's what I'm saying, These things do mess you up. All right. So if you have any other content suggestions aside all of this, please let me know in the comment section. I really, really want to change my content. I want something else. I want something light, something fluffy, something vanilla, something, tickly, giggly, girly. I'm tired. Take all the information that I've put in there. Over 200 videos are there. Unless I find something that I've not already spoken about, but yeah. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again with another video. Take care of yourselves. Bye.